Yo, get that good lighting in here.
Bad lighting?
No, get the good lighting. No, good lighting. The good lighting. Ooh. That added at least 1 point to me. What's going on, guys? Today, Sarah and I, we're going to hit Legos. No? Is that not cool? Stop trying to make that fetch, Karen. What? Is that what it is?
Stop.
I think I know more Mean Girl quotes than you do.
False.
I don't even know if that was right. So, we're gonna go hit legs right now. I'm eating my pre-workout. I haven't even eaten before this, which isn't usually what I do. Usually I have some eggs and some potatoes, but you know, life goes on. So I'll see you guys then. Transition.
How can you do better?
How can I do better?
Surprised you didn't hear this in the Bible. I'm so tight, I might go psycho. Christmas time, so here's the recital. I'm so bad like Michael. I know I'm still young, but I go stupid, love like Cupid.
I'm a drummer boy, so do it.
At the table with the family, you had to get the blackberry on the hip, and then I gave a little flick and
Good try.
Christmas, Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. We at the Holy Land. Okay, mailman, I see you. Skirt. About to get run over in the middle of the street. About to hit some Legos. I'm making it a thing. It's gonna be a thing. Skirt. Where'd they get this cut out of me? These are my nice 2017 Reeboks Air Force One looking ass shoes.
You mad, bro?
Nah, because it's kind of badass. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this vlog thus far. So I want to touch on something super practical in terms of nutrition that I think a lot of people miss out on because they don't really understand the whole concept, and that's satiety, right? It's the feeling of being full. And the reason this is so important is because whether you're dieting or whether you're trying to put on muscle and you're eating more calories, the half the battle is the mentality of it, right? We want to be able to feel like we are eating enough if we're dieting, or we can feel like we're not so ridiculously full all the time when we're eating in a caloric surplus and putting on muscle. So if we can understand what creates satiety, right, that feeling of fullness, that feeling of satisfaction, then we can really hack into that process and change the things that we're eating so that we can either feel more full in terms of dieting or feel less full in terms of building muscle and eating in such a caloric surplus. So there are just a couple things that I want to touch on that are really going to mostly affect this process. The first being fiber, okay? So we think of fiber as vegetables mostly, but fiber's in a lot of different things. Fiber, especially insoluble fiber, right? The type that kind of adds bulk to your, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So that type of fiber, just the presence of it within your stomach and your intestines makes you feel really, really full, right? It adds a lot of space, but it's not adding a ton of calories. So that's one way that we can either increase satiety, right? So if you're dieting, that means add a lot of vegetables to every single meal that you're having. That way you feel more full from every single meal, and you don't have to worry about getting that feeling of hunger too quickly again. Plus, on the other side, if we're talking about bulking, if you're eating a lot of fiber, if you're eating too many vegetables, then you're gonna be feeling really full all the time. That may be uncomfortable. Now, you definitely still need fiber, especially to add bulk to your, you know what I'm talking about again. But you also don't want to consume so much that it's really, really uncomfortable. So it's kind of a contradiction to health in general, but you probably want to eat less fibrous vegetables when you're bulking. Then you also want to be taking like a micronutrient supplement if that's the route you're gonna go. What's also nice about adding a lot of vegetables in when you're dieting is that you're also gonna get a lot of micronutrients, right? So you're getting those vitamins, you're getting those minerals, and you're getting those phytonutrients, which if you haven't heard about phytonutrients, they're those other things in foods that provide a lot of health benefits. So they can be the pigments of the food, they can be sometimes the things that make it smell, like the aromas of it. So if we take those things and we put them into our body, then our body's gonna be satisfied, right? The vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients, our body needs those just as much as it needs the macronutrients, right? The only difference between macro and micro is the amount that we need them in. We need a very large amount of macronutrients and just a very small amount of micronutrients. However, those micronutrients are still super important. So if we're adding in those vegetables when we're dieting, those micronutrients are still gonna satisfy something that our body wants. So that way we're gonna feel more full after a meal and really throughout the day. Usually when we get cravings, it's typically, not always, but typically because we're lacking some kind of micro or macronutrient. So if we get enough of those macros and micros in each meal, then we can stay full for longer. Now, the third thing is probably the most common that we know about in terms of what's gonna make us feel full, and that's protein. Now, whether you're dieting or whether you're bulking up, I believe you should be consuming nearly as much protein as you really can. Personally, I eat like 200 grams of protein per day, and that's at 190 pounds of body weight. So over a gram per pound, I believe no matter what you're doing, I think if you can achieve a gram of protein per pound of body weight, you're really gonna be setting yourself up for the best success no matter what you're trying to do. However, in terms of dieting, it's really, really important that you're getting high protein in, because that protein provides a huge sense of satiety, of fullness, of satisfaction. So really getting in your protein each meal is really, really, really gonna help you feel full and feel satisfied for a meal. And you'll notice this if you eat a meal that's like straight bread or rice or pasta or something, especially pasta, that's a good one, because sometimes people don't eat that with any meat. You'll realize like maybe you feel full for like a little bit because your stomach is distended, right? It's stretched out, but after a while, once it starts to digest, you're like, I'm hungry again already. That's because you probably didn't have enough protein in that meal. You know, throw in some meatballs. If you're gonna have some rice, mix it with some kind of protein. Maybe even tofu if you wanna get like kind of like Asian sizzle, bro. Know what I'm saying? This last one is a little bit different, but it's still really important. So when we eat a mixed macronutrient meal and we have fat in there, fat is really helpful because fat slows gastric motility. And you're like, what the frick does that mean? Well, it's just how fast food is moving through your stomach and really being dumped from your stomach into your intestines and slows through the movement of the intestines as well. So if you and we can think about this logically, right? If it's moving through there more slowly, then we're gonna feel more full for longer, okay? So I wouldn't say fat necessarily makes you feel more full, such as protein or fiber, but if you eat it in a mixed macronutrient meal with some protein, with some fiber, then you're not only gonna feel full from the protein and the fiber, but you're gonna feel full for longer because of the fat. The fat really slows down the whole digestion and absorption process. So have those mixed macronutrient meals. They're gonna be super, super beneficial to you guys feeling full for longer when you're dieting, because that's half the battle. And then on the other side, if you're bulking, then you can hack those processes and figure out how you can eat more and feel less full, because both are a struggle. If you've ever bulked really, really, really hard, then you know how uncomfortable that can be. I know people are always like, oh, you're so lucky you could eat 4,000 calories a day. No, it's not that fun, okay? It's really not. But on the other side, dieting can also really, really suck. So that side is super important to maintaining your fullness, and the bulking size, you actually want to be as little full as possible, because usually you're too full. Alright guys, so I hope this video was bomb. I've been trying to make these videos way better, and if you guys have any constructive criticism, feel free to put them down in the comments. If this helped you, put it down in the comments. Share it with a friend who also needs to hear this. I think this is one of the biggest subjects that isn't talked about in nutrition. Like, people are talking about how to be healthy, but nobody's talking about how to feel full or how to feel unfull. Unfull? Is that a word? I don't know. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.